Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to Confused Creative. This is a platform that I use to interview people in my community whose journey I connect to, people who I find interesting, and other people that I think you all should know about. So, on this episode, we have James Williams. James is a dream coach and an investor. So give a digital round of applause to James. James, thank you for being here.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Did you hear what I said about you? I only interview people who I think is interesting. So I think you interesting.
I appreciate it. I think I'm interested sometimes too. It just kind of depends on the day.
Okay, so James, my question for you is what is a dreams coach? Like what 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 do you do as a dreams coach?
So as a dream coach, it's quite literally inside of the name. You coach people on whatever their dreams are. But I think the biggest thing is helping people define what their dream is. I think a lot of people just kind of get caught like think about when you go to college. A lot of people just like, all right, cool. I'm just trying to get to graduation, but then people don't know like what they're going to do after graduation. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm just trying to get to the finish line, but
Mhm.
that's not the finish line. That's the start line. And most people just go through life and just work the job, and then they get the job and they're unfulfilled. And I think a lot of people start looking for things and possessions and not purpose. You could do a bunch of stuff, make a bunch of money. I've had a lot of times where I had a decent amount of money and I was like, it's boring, you know? And
Yeah.
that's not to take away from anybody because I know sometimes I've been in the struggle too, where it's like, if you don't have that money, all you want is that money. So
Mhm.
it's just learning how to live in purpose for you as an individual, not what other people say that you want. Because I used to be like, all right, cool, I want a bunch of fancy cars, I want a huge mansion. Then I was like, nah, I don't really want that. That's what social media put inside my head. That's not what I really want. I'm pretty cool with being simple.
And I really, sorry to interrupt you, but I really feel like a lot of us, we look at other people and what they're doing and what they have and what their dreams are. We look at other people so much and we don't know what we want to do. We're just seeing what other people are doing all day, every day. And I like what you said about college being graduating college is the starting point, not the finish line. Like that's where it starts.
Yeah.
And yeah, okay, whatever. We'll get into that. But my next question is like, what made you want to be a dreams coach? Like, was it your own life that inspired you to do that? Like, were you confused about what your dreams were at one point, or what made you really want to get into that career?
Well, I would say the biggest thing is kind of when I think about it and I'm about to say it out loud, it's kind of fucked up. But there was a lot of experiences I had growing up where I was like, yeah, I'm about to die. And between like getting shot at, getting stabbed multiple times, just living inside of the hood, it was a lot of things where I'm just like, I should have been out of here a long, long time ago. And for a while, that's why I'm very big on like finding purpose because I was like, I didn't have a purpose of being here. So then the purpose kind of became, well, as many things as I've been through in between getting shot, being stabbed, drowning 3 times, like having seizures growing up, and literally they said, "Oh yeah, your brain stopped working, then pop back in." I'm like, I'm here for some type of reason. Maybe it's just to help other people, and that's kind of where it came from. It's like, okay, cool, because I was given another chance, and I was given a lot of other chances, but once I
Mm-hmm.
had all those chances, I'm like, I still don't know what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
So then it just
Right.
became, let me help other people figure that out.
Mm. So you grew up in Detroit for people that don't know. So I know you mentioned that you wanted to go to college to get out of the hood, basically.
Yep.
So I guess did that help? Did going to college help you, or did it set you back further?
Oh no, no, no. Well, debatable. Um, I would still say it helped more than it hindered. It wasn't that I wanted to go to college; it's that I wanted to get out of the hood. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as you know, at Eastern, I was a part of the Brotherhood Scholars, and it was basically a program to, have all the black guys come in and advance them through college and everything like that. And when we first came in, we had a huge meeting. In the meeting, they was talking about like, what's your why for being here? and it was a couple people who said, "Oh, I'm here for my mom, make my mama proud. I'm here to get the degree." This one dude, his name was Kiwan. I love this guy. He's the funniest dude ever. He was like, "Yeah, I'm here to find my wife." And it's crazy. He actually did find his wife, and he left. That was it. I was like, "All right, for sure." But when they asked me, I'm like, "I'm here to make connections and leave." Like I didn't care about the degree. I didn't care about graduating. I had good grades and stuff like that, but I never cared for that stuff. I was there to network. I knew that I was there specifically to network with people and leave. The degree was just extra.
Mm-hmm. I'm from Detroit as well, but like you just really had a different, like, I guess, experience than me growing up. Um, I don't really want you to put all your business out here, but like, damn, like you said, you drowned and you almost got shot. Like, was it just, what was the cause of it, or like, I don't know how to ask it in a sensitive
Um,
way.
so since we're going to be on a platform, that's going to be posted. There's only certain things I can say.
Yeah.
But I I suffer from a lot of what's called BBA, which is beef by association. I happen to be with certain people who did certain things, and because I was with them and they had beef with somebody else, I was automatically associated with them. So
Okay.
a lot of times it wasn't me who was the target of the shooting. It was somebody else, but I happened to be in that group, whether the people on the block shooting
Okay.
dice or, whatever it is. In some cases it was some things that was kind of my fault. There was some dudes at the school one time. We end up all fighting. We won the fight. We left. I'm chilling. I'm by myself. I'm thinking I'm good. I changed my clothes. I'm finna walk to my cousin's crib. My mom told me to take the bike. I was like, nah, I don't need the bike. I'm just going ahead and walk it out. It ain't that far. So I'm walking. It's a nice summer day. And then the same dudes that we saw at the school happened to be walking a pit bull. And then they just let the dog go. And then I had to run from the dog, hop the fence. The dog grabbed my ankle, got it. And then I broke my ankle in 4 spots, fell on my ankle. It broke. I was still running. It's crazy what adrenaline will do to your body. But like, I'm still running. I'm hopping fences. I get to my man's crib. I go over there. I wait for him to pull up. I'm like, yeah, bro, the dudes that we just was fighting at the school, they just sick the dog on me. And like, I feel like the dog got my ankle, my junk leaking. And I try to stand up and I can't walk no more. And then they had to take me to the hospital. They told me, yeah, your leg broke in 4 spots. I was like, that's tough. Put me out for a while. So it'd be a lot of stuff,
It's
man.
a
Like,
lot. So, okay. So I guess I asked that because because a lot of Black men, I mean, I hate to group everybody and to stereotype everyone, but like a lot of Black men just really get addicted to that lifestyle and they don't want to leave. So I guess it was different for you. Like, you wanted to leave. Like, you had it basically. But because a lot of Black men are just like in a cycle. Like, it's crazy, it's a war zone, but they can't leave for some reason. So mm,
I think it's a high though. I think it's like you get used to
mm,
living in extremes. It's like because when you in the hood, it's like you're doing something constantly to give you that huge adrenaline rush. Like when you fight, like I still like once I left the hood, I started like cage fighting and stuff like that. So that was still my adrenaline
mhm.
high. Like I still want to go skydiving. I'm terrified of heights, but I like the adrenaline. It just I converted it to somewhere else instead of going out to go fight people or get into some gang banging stuff or gambling on the porch. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it was, I just end up going to go do speeches and then got into the acting stuff with you. Like it was all stuff that still gave me that
That
high,
same adrenaline.
yeah, but not as dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Like having new experiences. That's the thing. Like you constantly having new experience. That's why I'm like constantly networking with people, going to different events. Just helped host the NAACP event downtown Detroit in like Cobo Hall, and a bunch of people was there, running around with the little earpiece, trying to figure out where everybody needs to go. Like all that stuff is still adrenaline
Yeah. Yeah.
directed somewhere else.
So yeah, and then speaking of speaking engagements, like you said you have spoke at like Ford Field and NAACP events, and you speak about changing your mindset, homelessness, and facing adversity.
Hmm.
So what I guess motivated you to speak about that? Like, what, those topics are very specific. Is it because that's what you went through yourself, or is that what you just see that needs to, like, that really needs to be talked about?
No cap. A lot of it is just a mixture of stuff that I had to do in high school, as well as things I did for scholarships. So, like when I was getting scholarships to go to Eastern, because I honestly didn't really pay for anything. I have like really almost no student debt out of 4 years for real.
Praise God.
Yeah, and it's all from like scholarships and stuff like that. So all the papers and stuff that I type, people was like, "Man, this is crazy." And then those same people had to be like, "Could you come speak to a group of people?" And then when you go speak
Oh,
at one event, other people see you like, "Can you come speak to this event?" Or "Can you come
okay.
speak at that event?" And then it just started cycling through there. So the first speech that I actually did was actually for a dual enrollment course. It was actually a public speaking class because I'm just like, okay, cool. I can do public. I did public speaking in psychology, and while we was doing that, they said, okay, cool. We just want you to come up with an impromptu speech. And I'm like, okay, cool. How long we got to come up with it? It was like 15 minutes. I'm like, the best thing I could talk about is my life.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole thing came through like faith and adversity, all the stuff that I've been through. Because all like pretty much my whole high school career, I was pretty much homeless from like ninth grade, well, 10th grade technically. But like from then all the way until I graduated, I was sleeping on sidewalks and curves. I was sleeping downtown. The people mover got kicked out of there, sleeping on the ground next to the transit center, like, and still going to school and working every day. And nobody ever knew anything. So one of the biggest things that I talked about, which is like when I started going to like different programs, especially as related to students, is like watch out for academic camouflage because I had straight A's. But
Mm-hmm.
because I had straight A's, nobody ever checked on me. They only checked on the people who have
Mm.
A's.
Oh,
So
they
yeah,
sure do. That it, like in school systems, it's the kid that's always like that's acting out, or the kid that's always like, yeah, with straight, like you don't check on everybody, I guess. Like, yeah, that's a amazing observation or point. That's very true. Okay, but sorry. Oh, were you done?
I don't know. You know,
You know, we had that conversation about that. So.
look, I can go forever too. I'm like, well, we can always circle back. We can do whatever.
Yeah, we'll circle back to that. But so yeah, these speaking engagements, because that's really what I was gonna ask is like, how are people trusting you? I mean, I know that people should trust you, but yeah, like for someone that doesn't know you, like how do you build that rapport with people to the point to where they come and ask you, like, can you speak to this audience? Like, I just think that's really amazing. But you said, like, you speak at one engagement, somebody sees you, and it just kind of trickles from there. So are you still doing like a lot of speaking?
Actually, yeah. And not as much as I used to. But still decently so. Yes, a lot of it is now via Zoom instead of stages. I prefer the stage though. I love like crowd energy. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, crowd energy feeds me. But still, I still do some. I actually am doing. I just got done doing a speech. I think it was yesterday, actually. Yesterday, either yesterday or the day before, and I'm doing something on Sunday as well. So it happen it happens quite frequently. And the way that it ends up happening a lot of times is just I go to different events like how at the NAACP, and I met a lot of famous people. I met a lot of people that was inside of the community who had like big businesses and stuff like that, and I just talked to them and have that conversation. They like, oh, this guy might know a thing or two, or oh, this might help me, or you ask them like, how can I help you? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then you just keep going from there. And then another thing that I do is whenever I go to these events, sometimes I purposely don't take a card because I know that people grab a card and they never use it. And I'm like, oh, I ain't got my card on me. I'll just take down your information. And then that's a good way to get personal numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But if they do happen to have a card and they give it to you, the first thing I do is after I'm gonna have that conversation with them, I walk somewhere to the side, I pull a pen out of my little suit jacket, and I write down what was it about them that made me talk to them so I can remember. And then like maybe
Mm-hmm.
2 days later, I instantly email, call, or text them, or all three, dependent on whichever one they respond to. Because now we just met and now I'm on your mind. If I wait too long, then you're not gonna remember who I am because you didn't get no card from me. Most people are not writing notes on the back of the cards to remember how they met people, none of that type of stuff. So I'm trying to get to you soon. And then we just start following up. Like I literally ran into a dude who was running a mentoring program, and also a, a woman that I actually was inside of her entrepreneurship program growing up, having to run back into her. and we just connected. And she said, well, James, could you come speak to some of the students that we want to have? We actually want to work outside of some schools over there by Linwood. And I'm like, Linwood? I'm like, oh, that's where I grew up at. All right, what's up? What are you doing over there? Mentioned the school. I'm like, oh, I went to that school. Like, okay, cool. So let's go ahead. Like, I probably got some people that's in there. And then now we finna work that together and start up. Well, she already had the entrepreneurship program, and I'm going to be like pretty much helping her out with that, and trying to expand and open people's minds to different things. She said, like, me being inside the program, I end up being exactly what she wanted from the program, which is people who become more enlightened about like actual life, opposed to just, oh, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get this job and I'm gonna work 40 years and that's gonna be it. She said she wants to open the minds of people who didn't get a chance to see those type of things, because a lot of us just get caught up in that. You know what I'm saying? Like I recently just went to my sister's senior pinning, and a lot of people just like, oh, I'm gonna go to college and it was happy, or oh, I'm gonna join the workforce. But then it's like, what happens after? It was one thing that caught my attention, and it was this dude, and he said, yeah, I'm gonna go to school for real estate. And I'm like, I've never heard that straight out of high school. This kid owned to something. So I talked to him afterwards. I said, if you ever need anything, hit me up, because I'm also going for my real estate license currently. I don't have it yet. That test hard than the motherfucker, but you know, like, I'm like, if you need something, I'll gladly help you out. Like, there's somebody who's younger than me that I can help out. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely gonna do it. But really, it's just networking with people, talking to them, let them know that you have something of value, or asking them what they need and seeing if you can provide it.
Yes, that was my observation. Like, I wouldn't even call it networking. Like, you just have an amazing way of connecting with people. Like, is that a skill, or is that like a Leo thing? Like, where did you?
It's definitely a skill. It's definitely a skill. I had to develop it.
It seems very genuine, because when I hear the word networking, I think of just a bunch of non-genuine connections and people just trying to get to where they want to get to. I think building connections, like genuine connections, is I mean, it's still networking, but it seems like you know, find people, like you said, you write something on a card that you connected with that person with, and it's like, it's more genuine, I feel like, with you. That's what's up.
I think it's mainly from a lot of books and stuff that I've read.
We gonna get into that. Don't even. Okay, let's move on, because we're gonna get into the books, because that's one thing I remember about you. Are a book reader, so I need some recommendations. So yeah, we're gonna get into that. So
reading something right here. It's always a book.
No, James, that was gonna be my question. I'll be skipping it. Okay. So you mainly, it seems like you really have like, out of all the things you do, you really try to connect with youth, like, a lot. Like you said, you were a part of what was that, Brotherhood?
Yep.
Like, you know, you really try to connect with young Black people, young Black men specifically. So what is the most important thing that you want to instill into the youth? Like, out of all of the engagements and everything that you do, what is one thing that you want all of them to take with them after you like talk to them about it, if that makes sense?
Belief. Nothing else matters if you don't believe it. It don't matter what you're trying to accomplish. If you don't believe it, it won't happen.
Belief.
That's like the simplest thing. I think that was one of the biggest things that held me back, is that I didn't believe that I was worthy of something outside of the hood. You know what I'm saying? I didn't believe that something good could happen to me because of so much bad shit that happened. So like, that belief changed everything. Like, when I had mentors come to me like, you know, like, you could really do this, and I'm like, me could plan, bro. But then it's like, I started doing things, and I started speaking to bigger crowds, and I mean, shit, even the whole acting thing, that wasn't even in the plans. Like, you just have to believe. And I think that's one of the biggest things, is believing in yourself. And also, probably even more so than believing in yourself, is believing in that you can get through what you're going through. Because sometimes you go through something and you can like you can think like, oh yeah, I know I can get through it, but it's still something that's there. But when you know for a fact that you can get through whatever you're going through, that can change everything drastically. Like
Everything.
me and one of my homeboys, his name Josh, we talk about this a lot. He didn't grow up in the hood. He said that he walk around and he's fearless, but the thing is he feared that he won't be okay if something happens, or that no matter what happens, nobody's going to do anything to him, but he don't really trust himself to go do other things. I'm like the exact opposite. I don't know what somebody else is going to do, so I'm always like hesitant with certain things. But I do believe no matter what happens, I will be okay in the end, because I mean, all the stuff that I've been through, like as many times I've faced death, as many times I've been homeless, like through high school, college, middle school, the times I didn't have eviction notices on my door, like I know that no matter what happens, I will be okay in the end because I have faced so much stuff in the past. Yeah.
Nice. So, and speaking of like evictions and homelessness, now you are an investor and you help other people with their credit, their finances. So like how did you get here? How did you come from like having bad credit and getting evicted and all of that to now being financially well off and helping other people on their journey?
Literally what I just said. I just believe that I can get out of it. I was just like, this can't be the end. Like it can't just suck this bad. Like things can't suck all the time this bad. It's just, I just didn't believe that was a thing. So I ended up just learning about stuff. That's why I got books on credit. I got books on debt. I got books on investing. It's crazy because a lot of the stuff do relate back to the books and the mentors. Those have always been the biggest things. Like, and sometimes my mentors come from books that I read, and I never actually met the people personally.
Them, yeah.
But it's like I look them up on YouTube. I see what else they're doing. I look up their interviews, and I learn from them. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to be a direct people think that you have to have a direct mentor that you can call and talk to. Sometimes you just need a guidepost. Like, it's kind of like a GPS. You don't know who created the GPS. You don't know who's behind that. You just know that GPS is telling you to go a certain direction, and you follow that general direction. And that's pretty much the whole thing with that. But a lot of it was just books, man. And I remember, I think it was like my social studies teacher, big black dude, named Ferguson Bay. He said, if you want to have something from a black person, put it in a book, because niggas don't read. And I was like, that's crazy. And then, like not too long after he said that, my house got broken into, and my mom had all her tax money inside of some encyclopedias, inside of a crate, like a milk crate with some encyclopedias in there. She had all her tax money in there. House got broken into. They flipped the couches, ripped the cushions out, pulled plugs out of the TV, took the little PlayStation, flipped the bed, bust the closet doors down. They touched everything except for the books.
It was a nigga.
Most likely, I was in the
hood. Okay, yeah, no, that is factual, and I really like that. Like, all of my mentors are online. I do have a couple that are in person and that have been with me for a while, but mostly to find someone specific to your journey, most likely it needs to be online, because there are just so many amazing people out here that have went through what we have gone through. YouTube, people, YouTube, Google, and even if you don't like reading, there are Audible books. There are so many. It's so many things you can do as an alternative. Okay, let's get to the book, since we keep ending up on this subject, because you are a major book reader. I'm getting into reading right now. What was that book that you just showed? I know that's Jay Shetty, I think is his name.
Think like a monk.
Are you trying to become a monk?
Oh no.
What made you want to pick that one up?
I like a lot of his content that's online. He said a lot of stuff that is beautiful.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. Sorry. That's what I was about to say. I love his online content. His interview. Have you seen his interview with Big Sean?
I don't think I've seen that one, no.
It's amazing. He talks about shit, that's up my alley. Okay. But okay, let me know how that one is. But as far as books, like it sounds like books pretty much saved you. It helped you become the man that you are. So, what are some books that you will recommend to my audience that you really like, somebody that's down and out, somebody that just really needs help and guidance? Like, give me at least 3 books that you will recommend.
Mm, all right, so I'm gonna preface this with it kind of depends on what you're trying to accomplish and what your journey is, because different books teach you different things and that type of stuff. But
Mhm.
in general, books that I recommend to people is The Dream Giver by Bruce Wilkerson, um, Daring Greatly by Brene Brown, and
Wait, what's it? What was that?
Daring Greatly by Brene Brown. And there was a third book, probably, I would say The Compound Effect. Yeah, either The Compound Effect or The One Thing, one of those two. It's a lot. I have a lot of books, but those books would be some things that I believe have something for everybody.
Okay. Have you heard of or have you read the 7 spiritual laws of success?
No, I have not heard. I have not heard of that one.
I think you'll like that. I think you'll really like that. It's spiritual, but I think it can connect to anyone, no matter what your religion is or whatever. It's spiritual, but it's about success and greatness. But I think you'll
Yeah.
fuck with that too. Okay. So acting, that's how me and you really connected, was through the acting journey. So, and I just really love seeing Black men in the acting world, because I just feel like so many of y'all are so like, like the toxic masculinity of it all. So James, I just really want you to tell your fellow brothers like how the acting journey has been for you. Like, is it an outlet? Is it therapy? Like, do you enjoy it? Like, what, like, tell us about your acting journey.
So at the beginning of it, I didn't think I was going to do it. Less It's all started with Close Up, which was a theater group at Eastern, um, and it was Princess who originally told him about it, because I believe she was a RA in Sellers my
Mm.
freshman year, and she was telling me, "Oh, you should join." And I was like, "All right," but I ain't take it too serious, because I'm like, I ain't no actor, man. I come from the hood, bro. What I got to offer y'all? I ain't got that. You know what I'm saying? So it started off like that. I started going to all the shows. I'm like, okay, cool. I like seeing this stuff cool. I'm like, yeah, come on, join. I'm like, yeah. Then never went to the auditions. It wasn't until it was an MLK show, and they had the first soundscape in the auditorium, and I heard the like it was a simulated gunshot. Let me specify, a simulated gunshot, and somebody hitting the floor, and I just died. I bawled crying. I was like upset, like my whole body was enraged. Everything felt tense. And it was just because it was so close to home at that time. Like a lot of people I know was actually getting killed and shot and stuff like that. And like I've seen people like get shot and killed in front of me. So it's like that feeling and having the eyes closed and all the sounds that was happening, I was like, huh, I have never cried publicly as an adult ever in my life. So then I went to another show, because I'm like, my honest thoughts was, they ain't gonna bitch me like that. So I swear that was my honest thoughts. So I went back. Same thing, cried again. I'm like, all right, look, they can do this shit a third time. I'm gonna go ahead. I went to all 3 shows. I purposely canceled other shit I had going on to go to the show. And the third time it happened again. And then Brittany was on stage and said, "Hey, we need more Black men, this, that, and the other." And then, they had a talk back at the end. And I was like, "You said you need some niggas, I'll be your nigga." Those was my exact words. And I went to the audition, and I actually got in. I wasn't expecting. I'm like, oh, yeah, these people pretty good. I'm sitting there like, oh, I'm enjoying my time. and all the little games we played. I still remember when we was doing the little thing with the Gok and
Mm-hmm.
I put it on my back and I like it was a parachute and just like jumped and felt like literally was just on the floor. And I was like, yeah, this is actually kind of straight. This is fun. You know what I'm saying? Give me a way to like let loose because most of my life is so business heavy. Even back then, it was just school, work, meetings,
Mm-hmm.
networking events, all through college. Like that's everything. It was a huge outlet. And even to this day, huge outlet. Whether I'm like paid or not paid, it's a huge outlet from all the other stuff that I do. Everything else I do, it seems stressful. It don't like when I'm learning lines and stuff like that. I mean, I like learning the lines, the action of it, but like actually getting on the stage and doing the stuff and feeling the crowd energy, it's all fun. It's the only thing that I don't consider to be super serious in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is like super business heavy, super
And it's
serious.
nothing like it. It's
Yes,
really nothing like it. Like, come on, it's really the best thing ever to just get on stage and to be yourself essentially, but you're playing a character and to, yeah, like receive all of that energy, like that the Louisiana show that we did, that was impeccable.
yeah.
Like
You got the
I
recording
just,
on that?
huh?
You got the recording?
Yes, recording.
No, I'm saying like you got the recording of the
Oh, do I have the record?
yeah,
Yeah. You
oh, yeah.
have you seen it?
Yeah, I got it on the computer
Oh,
right.
so I haven't seen like the whole show. I just watched my monologue because I'm like, let me see how. But yeah, like it's just nothing else like it, and it's therapy. It's just practices are really therapy. Like going to practice and hearing everybody's like experience and how we have to create a show from that. I just really wish more Black men would tap into that because it's talent. We just naturally have a lot of talent, and I just feel like y'all are needed in those spaces. So,
I, I think that people look at it as like, oh no, that's too goofy. It's gonna mess up my image or X, Y, and Z. And as a dude who comes from the hood and did a lot of like dumb shit, um, my personal perspective is, yeah, none of that other stuff matters, man. It don't. You gotta have fun with your life. You can't live for other people. I mean, reputation is important. I can't say that it's not, but it depends on who reputation, like where where that reputation is being formed is what matters. Like, 'cause if you just like looking at a bunch of people in the hood and you want them to think that you are hard and serious the whole time, like that's not necessary because they not paying no bills. They're not getting you nowhere. But when I go to different places where there's big professionals there and I'm trying to network with them and they can give me other opportunities, then I care about that reputation that's being portrayed there. But acting is not going to hinder that. They're going to just think, oh, he's versatile.
but you're also someone who is comfortable with their sexuality. So I feel like that has a lot to do with it. Like you got to be comfortable with your sexuality.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, especially men, are not fully comfortable with their sexuality, or at least like they haven't had their sexuality challenged, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
think that's a better thing because I wouldn't say that they're not comfortable because they straight, they know that they straight, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that it's being challenged. Like my favorite color is pink. I ain't got no problem with it at all. Like my keys pink, my Apple Watch pink, my steering wheel pink, the blades on my windshield wipers pink. I don't care about none of
So when
that.
you say their sexuality hasn't been challenged, do you mean like they haven't been presented with the experience where they have to think about if they want to be with the same sex, or what
Yeah,
does
kind of
that
all that
even?
stuff. Like that whole thought get negated. Like people just don't even act like that's a thing. And most people don't, like most straight guys don't hang with gay guys. The crazy thing is most of my guy friends are gay or bisexual.
Hmm.
I just a lot of straight guys that I know, they just don't be having it in their head. It just the only thing they want to talk about is sports.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even watch sports, so I get bored really fast. Like it's like they missing depth. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
like can we talk about it? Can we talk? It's like why does now, like seriously, nowadays it seems like straight man equals just square. Yes, no depth. no fun, just in hella misogyny. It's just terrible. It's really fucking terrible. And it's like, if I do want to, let me not make this personal, but if it's like, for the dating pool, if I want to date someone that has depth and is going somewhere, it's like, do I have to date a bisexual man? It's like, it's just very, I don't know, but I just think that's a conversation that needs to be had. Well, being a guy from the hood, how did you get to the point to where, or I don't know if you were always like this, but how did you get to the point to where you're like, fuck it, I don't care about, what I'm saying, complimenting a guy or doing things like acting or dancing or having my favorite color being pink? Like, did you get to a point where it's like, you know what, I don't care about any of this, or were you just always this way? And if you were always this way, what is some advice for, because there somewhere out there is a cis hetero Black man listening, and he is screaming inside because, like you said, they have no depth and they're just too insecure with their sexuality and they don't explore anything because they think it's gay. So what's how do they get there? What is your advice on that?
Find gay friends. Honestly, the thing that changed everything for me was one of my homeboys. He turned out to be gay, and I was literally playing a game, and we was on the phone, shit like that. Got it on speakerphone, got a controller in my hand, and he was like, "I gotta tell you something." I'm like, "All right, for sure." I'm still playing a game. I'm not tripping. He was like, promise you gonna still be my friend after this. And I'm like, I can't promise you something if I don't know what you about to ask me, because I mean that don't make sense to me. It never did. But so we talking about that, and he was like, yeah, I'm gay. And I'm like you like niggas? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, all right, cool. So shit, you still want to play the game or what's up? Like it was, to me, it was that simple. Like I didn't care if you like guys. Just know that I ain't with that shit. You do what you want to do. Like I don't. My thing is, what other people do, if it don't directly affect me, I don't care. I ain't got shit to do with me. Like it was the same thing with me when I talk to people about celebrities. They're like, "Oh my God, did you hear what such and such just did?" Nope, don't care either. It don't make me no money. It don't put no more food in my stomach. It don't put shit on my table. All they do is bring unnecessary drama that ain't even mine. So I don't care. So it's just when I had like guys that was like that, who ended up being my homeboy and being gay, they tried some shit, of course, to try to see if they could feel me out. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm straight. I don't want no, nah, I'm good. Straight. We
but
be
you
home.
know what? But and I think a lot of men are scared of that. But you know what? First of all, not every gay man wants every straight man that they see. That's number one. And number two, men are afraid that gay men are going to treat them how they treat us. You know what I'm saying? So you're afraid that men hit on bitches all the time, unsolicited, smacking ass. Hey, bitch, come here. Let me get your number. Just wilding. But when a gay nigga do it, oh no, you disrespectful. You nigga, you do this every day. You've been doing this for your whole life. So I think that cishet Black men just really need to wake up. Wake up.
My kind of personal opinion is that first off, there's a lot of DL niggas out here who be on a down low.
Yeah.
So that's a whole nother topic of conversation. But my thing is, okay, so I'm gonna spit it to you straight. No bullshit, unfiltered. As it relates to sexual experiences, my personal opinion, which may not be true in every case, my girlfriend has told me this. But if you are a woman, you know how woman parts work better than a man, or at least you should. So a woman going down there and getting the business done should be drastically different than a guy going down there and getting the job done, because they kind of understand that part of the body better. So under those same circumstances, hypothetically,
niggas know how to suck dick better.
Hypothetically. Now, some people get curious about that. Me, I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm cool with never knowing. That's some information I don't have to know. But hypothetically, it makes sense, because I had a lot of girls go down there. They don't know what the fuck they doing. And I'm like, all right, nah, look, you gotta look like put your head like, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta coach them. And the thing is, putting that to your inside of your mind is like, if I can coach you how to do this, I probably know something. So that means if another guy have the ability to coach, he probably knows something. Now, some people want to find out, some people don't. That's up to them.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? So it be stuff like that. And I think a lot of guys is probably scared that they're gonna be like, they're gonna get their soul gone from a dude and they ain't gonna know how to feel about it. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I think that's a real thing. Like,
Just even for me, outside of the sexual note, men, be yourself. If you like the color pink, wear the color pink. If you have a best friend who is gay or bisexual, that's your friend. And that doesn't make you gay or bisexual for being their friend. It actually makes you fake as fuck if you don't want to be their friend because of that. That's just, for me, that's just weird. But I just wanted to, that's my humble opinion though. That's my opinion. Everyone's entitled to it. But I just wanted to mention that because I really feel like men, your creativity really gets stifled when you are inside of this box that prohibits you from exploring who you are. Like this whole man, that shit, gay shit, like all it is, no homo pause, like that culture, that whole culture is just really, it's hurting y'all. Not everybody, but for the vast majority is hurting y'all. I would just like to see everybody be more expressive of themselves. And I just think that we will all feel better, and it might not be as much violence in the city, or I feel like a lot of shit will change. So maybe, just a little suggestion, maybe that's something you can start speaking about at your little engagements, or if you want to bring a sister on the stage to help you out, we can tag team that if you want to.
yeah, I mean, personally, I think a lot of guys lack depth because, I mean, honestly, if we look at statistics, like black women are the most educated in our society. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
we don't really need a lot of education to get stuff done and get further. And also, the way society is put up, this personal opinion, um, our guys' confidence are naturally going to be more than a woman's just because of how we brought up. I mean, just looking at just at least growing up in the hood, I can't speak for every place because I didn't grow up everywhere. But you grow up in the hood, you got to go face rejection every day. You got to talk to the girl that's walking up the street. You hop off the porch. Hey, mom, let me talk to you. Hey, baby girl, what your name is? You with the blue hair. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole catcalling thing
Mm-hmm.
is in our nature. So we face rejection and it don't feel like nothing. And girls, I
Mm-hmm.
don't feel like y'all have to do that nearly as much. Um, so in society, we kind of we got a kind of a natural leg up on certain things.
Mm-hmm.
So there's certain things that we just don't have to deal with. So since we didn't have to deal with things in the past, we just we just write it off. But women, y'all gotta y'all educate yourself in a lot more stuff than guys. We do sports. We know stats. We have no stats of our own. Let's talk about that part. Like how we
Mm-hmm.
know everybody else's stats. We know how many 3 pointers somebody else made. We don't know our budget sheet.
So what? So the fact that y'all have a natural confidence, you're saying you think that has something to do with why you all don't have as many accolades as Black women?
I think so. Because I mean,
Okay.
why the fuck does it matter? We don't need it. We're quick to say that we
Mm,
don't need it.
mm,
At least in my opinion. I can't say that's for everybody, but in my opinion, it's like, nah. Because I mean, shit, I dropped out of school, and I felt fully confident in doing so. Some people
mm-hmm.
drop out and they like, I just got to get back. I got to get back. And then, don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
it's guys like that too. But it's like, I know that I'll be fine without it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that. And also, there's a huge need for black men almost everywhere. So we can kind of cut a
Mm,
lot of corners.
yeah.
So I'm aware of that. It's male privilege that I have. I'm aware of it. You
Yeah.
know. So I mean, shit. Sometimes if you got to use it to your advantage.
But it seems like it's hurting y'all in the long run, though.
How so?
Um, like kind of how we were saying, like the lack of depth, like it's like, so some men think that because they don't have to do certain things to get in the room, they don't study, they don't read, they just, like you said, watch sports. And that's, not for all men, but like I don't know. I just feel like catch up with us. Like I feel like Black women, we're skyrocketing here. Like honestly, we are. And it's like me personally, I want to, be standing next to my Barack Obama. I would like that, but it's just like catch up, mustard. Like what? And for me, I do think it's, in my opinion, from a woman's perspective, a Black woman's perspective, I think, yeah, y'all don't have to do shit. Everybody's soft on y'all. But for people like you didn't really let that affect you. You still read and you still have goals and you inspire other people to reach their goals. So I don't know really what, I don't know. This is just the open dialogue, and I just feel like it just really needs to be talked about. So I think you should start speaking about it.
Well, I mean, honestly, a lot of the stuff just came from insecurities that I decided to work on. Like, I read so many books because I couldn't read. I didn't know how to read until I was in 10th grade. Like, I remember it was this program called Beyond Basics. They used to take me out of English class in 10th grade, and they'd be like, okay, cool, you finna go to Beyond Basics. Nobody knew what it was because everybody else could read. I was in there in the 10th grade telling some A, apple, B, ball. And it was embarrassing as shit. And they used to have us read from a book and count our words. They told me I did something called sight read, which means I didn't really look at the letters or nothing like that. I just kind of looked at a word and guessed what it was and then kept going. And I'd be reading words that's not actually there. So they said you got to actually like take it word by word, read it, figure out what it is. And that's how I actually got more into reading because I couldn't read. I was insecure. So all I did was just practice it. And then it just became more of a habit. And that's kind of what happened. I mean, the same thing with speaking. I flunked the 3rd grade because they said I was too quiet. I had straight A's. That's really the only reason that I talk so much now. Like, and now I have to hold it back. A lot of it, me talking, was overcompensating because they told me that I didn't speak enough. They thought I was stupid. They put me in LD, and then they were like, "Oh wait, no, this motherfucker's smart," and then put me in the honors classes. And I'm like, "What the fuck?"
I remember you said that about learning lines too. You was like, I'm gonna always know my lines, because one time I forgot and I was so embarrassed or something like that you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a a appropriate mindset to have. I feel like if he's like, you got to come back. It's like, no, this not gonna happen to me. I'm not gonna be a victim to this.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm gonna wrap you up because I know you a busy man and it's after a certain time. So I just got a couple more questions. So what is
Got some
the
time on me.
huh?
So go ahead. I got some time on me.
Okay, great. So what is the most rewarding engagement or just thing that you have done in your career thus far?
What type of rewarding are we referring to? We talking about purpose, money,
Fulfillment.
fulfillment. Mm, biggest thing, probably mentoring youth on the side. Like it'd be like one-on-one mentoring that I'll do with people. Like I go to like a school and I do speaking. And if a kid walk up to me and be like, "Hey, I want to keep in contact with you," those are the kids I'm like, "You're very similar to how I was when I was a kid, so I guide you." So there's both guys and girls that keep in touch with me. They're probably like 19, 20 now. I don't be remembering what their age is. I never really asked. Um, but the mentoring that I do on the side and going to their graduations and helping them do job applications and telling them how to write a resume and telling them about investing and helping them open their first bank account because like they have their parents, but their parents don't know shit. To me, that's the most fulfilling work. And that's also the work that's not put out there on social media. I'm not bragging about it. I'm not telling other people about it. Most people don't even know that I do it. But I think that's also the thing that makes it so fulfilling because I'm not doing it for show. I'm doing it to really just help somebody out. And it just makes you feel good.
Yes. Okay. Last question. No, we gonna play a game actually.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna play this. We're gonna play this or that.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna just say something. I'm gonna just say uh this or that, and you just tell me which one you prefer.
Okay.
Boom.
Money.
Okay. Huh?
So,
What do you? Okay. Hold on. Okay. A TV or movies? Like a TV series or movies?
movies.
Movies? Okay. Um, monogamy or polygamy?
Polygamy. You already knew that. You already knew what that
I
was.
just had to. I had to. Have you been out of the country?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you meant okay, like would you prefer to go somewhere like Rome or Jamaica?
Jamaica.
Oh, you don't fuck with the European
I mean,
side.
oh, that's cool, but I like the naturalness. Like I've actually been to the Caribbean, so it's like it's a wonderful feeling there. It feels like those my folks.
Those
You
are
know,
the people.
like,
Okay,
yeah,
that's what
it's
I
a
knew
very
you was gonna
different
say.
experience, and also it's a lot of stuff that you learn about the earth going there. Like they tell you about if you go on tours, they tell you about the different type of rocks and plants, and you get to see the waterfalls. And the waterfall was amazing, but yeah.
Okay. Um, 10 minutes. Okay, we got 10 minutes. Um, Casamigos or Hennessy?
Hennessy.
You still be drinking dark? Like, grow up, James.
Hey, after a certain time, it's only dark. You feel me?
I know I'm a dark person too, but yeah. And okay, I was gonna say sports, but you don't watch sports.
I mean,
I was
we can still go sports.
okay. Um, LeBron James or what's his name? Steph Curry.
Oh no, nah, give me LeBron.
Okay. And last one, Michigan or Atlanta, Detroit or Atlanta, like as far as like culture and music, like Detroit or Atlanta, you can't be biased.
I'm honestly gonna probably go with Atlanta.
Damn, you was not no Detroit nigga for real. I'm ending this interview. I'm just
Yeah, I would have went with the city, but I I love my city, but I'm thinking about in terms of places that I'd rather live. I wouldn't rather live in the city.
so do you don't want to live here, live in Detroit for the rest of your life?
Oh yeah, definitely not.
Well, you don't live in Detroit now.
Yeah, I love my city. I do anything for it. I ain't gonna let nobody badmouth it. You know what I'm saying? They can catch one on the lip, but I don't want to live in the city. Straight.
Where you wanna go?
California,
Really?
San Diego.
San Diego.
San Diego was the first place. Yeah, San Diego was the first place in California that I was like, yeah, this is probably where I want to be. People was nice, a lot of different languages there, beaches and stuff was there, and the weather was almost perfect.
Yeah, it is. It
Yeah,
definitely, well, San Diego, it's a little bit chillier, I think. But
yeah.
well, come on down. It's great. Come on up. It's great. Okay, James, I really appreciate you for doing this. I'm excited about this little interview because okay, wait, I'm gonna stop recording. We done. Thank you, James. Bye.